Hey everyone, so I want to show you some of the things that I do for my own website in terms of SEO and probably what I'd be working on for your own website. Here's just a quick breakdown of the tools that I use. First is Google Search Console. This gives you a lot of insight into the terms that rank for your website. If you're gaining more impressions, it means you're going up higher in Google's results. So perhaps if you're on page 2, you might get a handful of impressions, but when you get to page 1, you see a big spike. You can kind of track that within this tool, and you get an idea of what's starting to work for your optimization strategy. There's other things in this tool like crawl stats. If there's any errors with Googlebot, but I don't need to go into that right now. Bing Webmaster Tools, it's just the same thing as Google. It's just Bing data, so it powers Yahoo and AOL as well. So same thing. You can see the search queries, any compliant issues with Bing bot. You want to make sure that you're just you're basically having the best, most clean version of your website for both Google and Bing. Ahrefs, this is a paid tool. I use this for backlink analysis. So, for example, if I write a blog post and I put it out there and I share it on LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook and some other places too, I can see over time if that gained any traction in terms of natural links back to it. It's just a good way to monitor your links. Both Google and Bing Webmaster, well, both Google Search Console and Bing Webmaster Tools give you a rough idea of the links, but if you're truly invested in SEO, you really need to track this with a more efficient tool. So Ahrefs is my choice. Um, Another tool that I use, this is called SEMRush. This is a paid tool as well, and I use this for my local and national search engine optimization strategy. So just for the sake of transparency, I want to show you just how it's looking for Massachusetts. So I'm working on a local strategy to show up more often for search terms out in Boston, Cambridge, Worcester, Massachusetts, and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts just in general. So I can track this on a daily basis and see work that I've done and the results that it's starting to show. Another thing about me is that I'm a meticulous note taker. I put almost everything that I do in OneNote. I'm always checking anything. Changing up a page's content, adding a video, fixing technical issues on the website. I document everything, and it's a good way for myself to always make sure that if anything I do for a client, I can go back into my notes and see was this successful for either another client or my own website, and I can kind of feel more confident about implementing it. And then even if it's a new strategy, it's a good way to document it and kind of go back a few months later and just to see if everything's going well. I chose this for a reason from November 17th because this was a technical issue with Google, and I worked on it and I fixed it, and I took a lot of notes on what I was seeing with Screaming Frog and Google Search Console, and then I started to track individual keyword ranks, and I noticed that fixing these issues had a very positive impact within Google Search. So it's easy for me to go back in time and try to pinpoint some strategies that might have been helping today. And finally, the last thing that I use is Trello. It's a project management software tool that I just prefer more than email. Email gets kind of tough at times because there's a lot of emails coming in and some are more important than others, and then sometimes the subject line doesn't match the body context. And I think especially if I'm working remote, it's sometimes a little bit harder to understand the intent at times. So I use Trello. I'm very visual. I have a hard time writing, so just the way that I can see things in columns, and it's just quick sections of this task and what the status is and if it's finished. It really helps myself to be more efficient with tasks in SEO, and ultimately I can go back into a finished card and go back into my OneNote and kind of cross compare and see how the results have done based off the work that was done, let's say, a few months ago. So that's a little insight into what I do for my own website and probably what I would be doing for yours. Thanks for watching.